Hi everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. I had another video planned for this particular topic, but I've decided to maybe go a different route. And I'm talking about Daniel Penny. He was just made not guilty. He just got a not guilty verdict for the killing of Jordan Neely. So before I go any further, this is not going to be about me minimizing the death of this young man. It's a tragic situation, but I feel that a lot of our black leaders, they're not doing the black community a service by always painting us as victims. There's a lot of unaccountability within our communities. Let's be honest. And things like this is bound to happen. Somewhere in this young man's life, and I'm talking about Jordan Neely, someone dropped the ball. And I fully understand mental health issues, drug related issues, things like that. But we also have to consider for a lot of young people who are troubled, some of them never got the proper help that they needed. They never got the guidance. They never got disciplined. It's a whole lot of things where his people dropped the ball. And not knowing who they are, I can only speculate and make assumptions based on what we see in the world around us, particularly in our communities. I just recently watched this video of these little girls. They look to be about 10, between 10 and 13. And they're in a store, destroying the store, throwing things on the floor. And, so I guess the point I'm trying to make is one day those young ladies, if they are not saved from themselves, they could potentially be a Jordan Neely later. And then people are going to make martyrs out of them because somebody is going to take it upon themselves to how do I want to word it? You've all heard the phrase, if you don't discipline your child, the police surely will later. If you don't discipline your child, they're going to run across another child who was not disciplined and they can potentially end up in the ground. So I remember Willie D. I watch him from time to time. I haven't watched any of his videos lately, but he was talking about remember those children in Chicago and California, and they were going around looting and, breaking into stores and stealing and all of that. And I can't remember verbatim how he said it, Willie D, but he said something to the tune of, there's going to come a time when people who don't look like us are going to get fed up, and then they're going to be the ones who's going to start putting their foot down for these children who are acting out of control. And we are not going to like that. That's not going to work for us. And I think that the black leaders, they do us a disservice by forever painting our community as victims. Because when you see yourself as a victim, you make choices that's going to take you down a path that you may or may not come back from. If you see yourself as a victim, then you see nothing to live for. You see nothing, you don't see anything about going out there to work hard for what you want, because you forever feel beaten down and downtrodden, and the white man this and the white man that. Now, I'm not on either side. I'm not on Daniel Penny's side, and I'm not on Jordan Neely's side. I think that it's sad that he lost his life. I hate the fact that the people who was supposed to guide him into adulthood, they dropped the ball. And I did a video weeks ago now where this father wanted to be the disciplinarian, the stabilizer, the protector, the provider for his son who looked to be about 14, and the mother was fighting him every step of the way. We don't know if this was a case with this Jordan Neely. Did he have a father in his life that wanted to step up and be that strong masculine energy that he needed, but his mother was fighting it, saying, no, he don't need you. He don't need to know how to be a man from you. But now his father, I saw him on the news. Now he's crying over his son. And, and a lot of people are looking at it kind of sideways, like, well, where were you when his son, I think it said that he had been arrested 42 times. He was on the subway threatening people. So what was Daniel Penny supposed to do? And he was in the military, so he was trained to do something like this. And unfortunately, the young man lost his life over choices that he made. And the conservative twins, I'm so glad somebody else said it, so I'm not the only person that's saying it. People are getting fed up with our community lacking accountability. We're always victims, but we're never accountable for anything. People are getting tired of that. And since I'm on the subject of young black males dying at the hands of white men, to me, people really should still be trying to look into that Raheem Carter case, that young man that lost his life in Mississippi, found his whole head severed from his body. And the local police was involved in that. Then you had a young black man in Bakersfield, California, who was found dismembered in the desert, but nobody knows what happened. Those are cases that the black leaders should be on top of. Not some two-bit criminal on a subway harassing people. And then I did a short the other day of this young black male on a subway, and he's treating it like his own personal jungle gym. And that's a young man who obviously no one has ever tried to, guide him or discipline him. It took some old geezer white man on the train to say, hey, this is not a playground. So the point I'm trying to make, I'm tired of people in our community making martyrs out of basically criminals. When you have young black males dying every day, every single day at the hands of other black men, yet you don't have black leaders coming out to talk about that. I have no respect for these black leaders because they're not holding our community accountable. Stop telling us that we're victims and start telling us, you know what? You get what you put in. So if you're putting negativity and being a criminal and all of that into the atmosphere, then that's what you're going to get back to yourself. How about go out there and work hard for the things that you want out of life? Doesn't mean it's going to be easy for you. Heck no. Do y'all know I've been at rock bottom in my own life? I mean rock bottom. I remember losing my job. I had my own apartment at the time. I got laid off. The company eventually went belly up. And I had to move back home with my mother. And I had to start my life all over. And not only did all of that happen, I had broken up with a boyfriend. I remember calling him and was crying and all of that. That was a very bad time for me. But I didn't stay there. No one is trying to talk to us as a community, as a collective, about the choices that you make matter. And again, I'm so tired of people forever making us out to be these lowly victims who don't know how to fend for ourselves, think for ourselves, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And I know that there's a segment of our community, they hate to hear that. Pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. You talking of taking on white supremacy talking points. I'm a victim, don't you know? Racism is keeping me down. And furthermore, I've been called an N-word. I've dealt with my own racism. I've dealt with it. It's an ugly situation, but you don't dwell there, you don't stay there. So going back to Jordan Neely, again, I'm sorry that young man lost his life, but stop making him out to be a martyr. You know, it should be more Black leaders stepping forward, talking to the Black community, particularly the Black community. Go to where the young Black males are who are in gangs and whatnot, and try to talk to them that there's a better life out there for you if you work hard for it. Even if you have to go work 2 jobs while you go to school, or work 2 jobs to get to live in a better area or what have you. Life doesn't have to die because you're at rock bottom at this point in time in your life, because you can work your way out of rock bottom. Many of us have. So my camera shut off before I was able to finish. So tell me what you think. Do you think that that verdict was fair? And if not, or if so, chime in below. Talk to you later.